Hey guys, D.Bowie here, and this is things I learned with Secret.Midone's Wraith King in 706. So first thing first, a lot of carriers nowadays think that the only possible starting item build is the double Slippers of Agility, Tango and Salve, but you need to consider how your offlaner harass you. Against most offlaners you have regen and support advantage, which means you're okay in right clicking them even against the creep wave, because their regen will end before yours, because the trades are usually in your favor. Against an X though, right clicking him as a melee core is not a good idea. Having PMS to take less damage from X's right clickers is not going to save you against counter Helix. Darkseer is a similar example of a hero where more regen or other items is more beneficial than PMS. Look how Mid-Huan approaches the early game. He ignores X here to buy his Quelling Blade and only trades hits when his creeps are not drawing aggro to Wraith King. During the next creep waves, Mid-Huan doesn't even recognize X's existence. But as his range creep is dying, and thus he's the only source that can proc counter Helix, he tries it once and already suffers more damage than he inflicts. There are more small things we can see Mid-Huan doing. Here he attacks X once, since he doesn't have a lot of creeps with him, and then as soon as counter Helix procced, he goes in to attack again. Counter Helix has a small cooldown, which means if you're close enough, you can abuse that to deal a little bit extra damage without risking anything. Just a few seconds later, Nyx shows up, and you can see how much Mid-Huan respects level 2 counter Helix. He doesn't even bother attacking since the kill is secured, because he doesn't want to take unnecessary damage. That's especially important when you're skipping lifesteal until level 4, like he did here. The next kill is quite interesting. X comes back to the lane, and Mid-Huan is still pretty okay in only getting less hits. When it's only him and his range creep though, he decides to attack a little. It's not the best trade possible, but what this does is lure X towards the tower while Mid-Huan has Salve and Mango. Which guarantees an easy kill, and pay attention, most people wouldn't feel comfortable attacking X when they have a Salve going. The thing is, X used counter Helix just a moment before, which gives him 100% safety as well as the gold for the kill. Mid-Huan takes an interesting approach in his next item choice. He's going Mask of Madness, but instead of ferrying himself Clarities, he buys a Sage's Mask. Even though Mid-Huan is going Mask of Madness first item, he wants to go Echo Saber later, so it's not like he's wasting anything. The thing with Clarities this game is that X can easily cancel it, and also his courier is not even upgraded at the moment. Interesting approach, even though Sage's Mask for a hero with so little intelligence is kinda sad. The Mask of Madness might feel like a weird item on Wraith King, since it gives you attack speed instead of damage to increase your crit, but it's actually a very good item on a lot of heroes. I saw LGD AIM using it on Juggernaut, and heroes like Luna and Sven build it all the time. The fact that your crit deals double the damage on neutrals allows Mid-Huan to farm this stack without a care in the world at level 7, which is very hard to do for most of the heroes at level 7. The extra move speed is nice to keep chasing hard targets, and it also synergizes with the move speed talent Wraith King has at level 15. Another minor thing we see Mid-Huan doing is making sure to deal some tower damage here. It's hard to push an early tower against X, and he makes sure to deal a little bit of damage since he has so many creeps there. Another interesting use of Mask of Madness is the fact that the duration is very similar to that of your stun. So Mid-Huan can stun here, with the move speed bonus he can keep the chase up, dealing a lot of damage, and then he has another cooldown as the silence is ending afterwards. You saw him killing Silencer, and it's the same thing here. I feel like the most important aspect of the mid-game is how Mid-Huan plays around X. The fact he already as a mid-hero got kills on him is pretty nice, but as he takes the tier 1 after the kill we saw, he makes sure to farm the Radiant jungle instead of his own. The usual farming pattern is actually going back to your small and large camp, but instead he goes for a more aggressive play for a bunch of different reasons. First of all, the only disable they have on Radiant is Berserker's Call, which means it's almost impossible for the enemy team to take him down twice without him being able to TP. It also hinders X Blink Dagger timing by a lot, since he wants to be there defending the tier 2 instead of going to the other jungle, but he doesn't have that jungle to work with, something that at this point he farms quite easily. He also checks Ursa's items, he has no Blink Dagger, and it allows Mid-Huan to keep going for this aggressive rotation time and time again that actually gives him more gold than farming his own jungle. He keeps tabs on what's going on with the Radiant team. You can see that he hovers around this 3-man rotation on Invoker, and since he knows the enemy heroes are low on HP, he feels comfortable going on X again. He checks his items, knows there's no vision, and does the same thing we saw time and time again. The extra move speed gives him the chase potential, and he even TPs, since the only disable Radiant has is dead. Remember what I said about the Mask of Madness and move speed talent? Mid-Huan is having such a great game that he decided to go Travels instead of Phase Boots. It's even more move speed, it allows him to split push and fight, and it's more slot effective as well. Afterwards he finds a double damage rune, and I love how he uses the downtime of Mask of Madness to push the mid lane just slightly enough that he brings the enemies in the area while he asks Nyx to tank Roshan for him. He gets there as Mask of Madness is ready to be used, And by the way guys, this is how you fucking tank Roshan. You get closer than your melee ally like Nyx does here. You don't attack from the same range. All of this is possible not only because of these short-term decisions, but the fact Mid-1 made X's life hell with a melee hero, which is actually pretty hard to do. Because of that, they know there's no blink dagger, and there you have it. Wraith King getting ages before Ursa. The fact Mid-1 can TP here to save Nyx when he gets initiated guarantees him a kill on Dazzle, that later on escalates on a kill on Silencer, and this is something I rarely see people doing. Wraith King is a hero that suffers for the most part the same problems Sven faces, gets kited, and in the same way Sven gives sustain on pushes, Wraith King gives sustain with his aura. It's not the same thing, but it's kinda similar. The thing though is that Sven rarely wants to be a part of early pushes because he needs a very particular set of items to fight. Wraith King though has a lot of different builds and approaches, and while you're dependent on your ult, kinda like Sven, you can actually get kills without it. You don't want to join fights if your ult is on cooldown, but you can get kills, especially with this build Mid-1 went for. As they keep pushing, X has Blink Dagger now, but it's way too late. Tier 2 is down, and pay attention to his decision making. Instead of going for the first hero that showed up, he goes for Silencer. Wraith King is a hero that can be easily kited, and for some time now we saw him focusing heroes like Dazzle and Silencer that are easier to take down during the stun duration. Yes, Wraith King is a simple hero, and this is why all those small decisions and even who you focus in fights is very important. There's not much to do wrong, but there's also a lot of stuff you can miss out or forget to take away from the enemy. I'm not sure about the Sen'jin Yasha. It does synergize with all the move speed and don't get kited idea Mid-1 has, but I feel like at this point he could win with any items he wants. Usually, Sen'jin Yasha is pretty good against physical damage heroes because it reduces attack speed, but not so much against Ursa. I feel like he stepped away from Blink Dagger this game because there's too many damage over time skills that could completely hinder his ability to blink more than once, which would be when he's initiating. With the exception of Ursa, every hero in the enemy team has long duration DOT skills, so he decided he needed more move speed, and Sen'jin Yasha makes more sense than Manta. Purge is actually decent, but his illusions are terrible, especially with this item build, and Manta costs a lot of mana for a hero that needs mana to ult like Wraith King, so I guess it wouldn't be very good. He keeps pushing lanes, and a fight starts to unfold mid. You're probably wondering why he decided to walk towards the fight instead of pushing the tier 3 or TPing there. First of all, Wraith King feels like he does a lot of damage, but that's only because he deals double the damage on creeps. Yes, he crits heroes, so that's a small bonus, but he's not an anti-mage that wrecks a tier 3 in 15 seconds. Also, the benefit of walking when you're as fast as Mid-1 is that you get a nice angle of initiation. No one expects you to be there. Another interesting decision was to not push high ground even though they won that fight and everyone was there. I'm pretty sure he could take tier 3 bottom or even mid, but this is 23 minutes into the game. The respawn timers are super fast and he's probably just playing it safe. His team also made sure to force a buyback as well as fortify, which means that the next fight they win is probably going to lead towards barracks. This is one of the final fights of the game. Mid-1 finds Dazzle, one of the targets he focused during the entire game, and Dazzle only commits grave when global is about to end, which was a pretty good play. But thanks to this build, he doesn't need to disengage and try to go after someone else. So even if he had blink, he wouldn't be able to blink instantly because of Arcane Curse here. But he chases Dazzle down without resorting to Ray Fire Blast. He does get kited slightly, but with X not blinking perfectly, he just shreds him. The extra armor from Butterfly and extra lifesteal from Madness guarantees that he almost takes 0 damage from Blade Mail, and that's pretty much game. This time he goes for the mid push, and look how a battle of Wraith King and Ursa goes down here. It's actually insane. Easy tier 3, and with X respawning, you can see that he immediately backs away. He did kill him before, but with more people and his ult on cooldown, he doesn't want to take any risks. He gets ages and the final fight is just weird. I mean, this Wraith King is so strong. I feel like one of the biggest problems with Wraith King is that people do not understand his power spike. He is not a late game hero. He can farm relatively fast, but he gets kited, I guess, easier than Sven because he doesn't have that AoE burst, you know? With Sven you can blink in and maybe kill 2-3 targets if you get lucky, but that's not the case for Wraith King. You can kill people relatively fast, but you will not be able to keep up. Even if you build BKB, it's going to wear out. If you BKB when you initiate, then they buy back. When you come back, you don't have BKB and then you just die. Your second life is meaningless. So I really like the tempo of this game. I'm pretty sure this is not the best build for every game, but it's a pretty interesting one, and I feel like it makes a lot of sense considering the heroes in this game. Well, this wraps up for today. If you enjoyed this video, please guys give it a thumbs up. If you want to see the extended version of this video, there's none because this replay was too small and I didn't want to cut anything, but there's a bunch of content on Pugna and hopefully you can find something you're looking for there. Also, I'm giving away basically 4 Arcanas, a lot of Pugna subscriptions, 1 replay analysis, and 1 drunk cast, where I will basically cast your game while I'm drunk. You guys just need to be subscribed to my YouTube channel, so if you watch this channel for a long time and you're not subscribed, this is probably one good incentive to do so. The link is in the description. Also, there's gonna be the BSJ coaching in the end of this week on Sunday. Hope you guys can catch that as well. Pugna just released their new feature. It's called Oracle. It's an amazing tool. You can analyze a lot of deep aspects of your play that no other tool or website can analyze for you. And I'm actually gonna make an entire video about it. I'm probably gonna stream myself using the tool. Hope you guys can actually get a lot from that as well.